Hello and welcome on my beautiful, vibrant hearts and ephemeral souls. So the inspiration that I was getting, the channeled kind of energy that I'm picking up on is I want to do a reading for what your family members on average think of you. This is a reading where I would really urge you to exercise discernment and caution, because we don't know what will come out, right? And if you're on a healing journey, this may or may not be helpful for you. So I just really advise you to consume kind of at your own discretion, right? This can be really insightful. And granted, there's multiple family members. They may all have different opinions, but this is the energy that's kind of coming out the most consistently, the strongest. So this could be a common thread that, maybe they all sort of feel differently about this, but this is what's coming through. So consume at your own risk. No, but sometimes this can be really nice because it can be really beautiful qualities as well that we don't realize. We have denial, and it came out reverse. I don't usually read oracle cards reverse unless the deck is designed like that, but there's something where I feel like your family members view you as a truth teller. They could, if you've struggled with like a particular blind spot or issue, they could see you as somebody who's addressing that head on. Some of you, this is very specific, you've gone sober. And that's something that they feel like they notice the effort. Some of you, it's like, there are things in the relationships that you have with them that you're not ignoring anymore, right? You're shining a light on it. This could be about being more authentic. We have the number 22 here. That's a master number. And this kind of indicates to me that whatever changes you've been making, however you've been showing up, especially recently, I'm seeing in the last 4 years, it's like, this is something that's very divinely guided. This is also 22 is a master number, and it is about creating more stability because it reduces to a 4. But it's also about our partnerships and our decisions. I have an exercise ball I'm sitting on, and it's just so fun. I replaced my desk chair with it, and I'm enjoying it immensely. Balance. I feel like a lot of you have been doing work on your Venus energy, but I feel like you've been working on how to create more balance in between the two of you, especially if you're very different people, like how to harmonize your relationships without burning yourself out or overextending yourself, how to have good give and take, right? How to find the balance between the relationship you'd like to have and where you're at. So a lot of your family members view you as somebody who you're kind of on to something different. You're onto something for sure, maybe that you see things in a way that they hadn't considered. There feels like there's mixed emotions around this. So different family members may see this differently. There could even just be like people, it's kind of like a mixed bag experience. Like, oh, we've had some really tough talks, but they ended up leading to something better. Or like, yeah, now we have to address XYZ, but we had to address it anyway. That kind of is the general feeling. Yeah, Grace. That's really beautiful. Some of you, your name is Grace. I was like, congratulations. We have 39 here. That reduces to a 3. But we have the Dove. I feel like generally speaking, we're going to pull tarot in a sec. Your family members view you as somebody who is changing. Somebody who's also changing the family. Like, again, with that denial energy, it feels like there's something that you embrace. Now I got to know what this is because I'm spiritually nosy. There's something, here it is, Queen of Swords. There is something that you embraced and you got very honest about it. And this feels like your self-acceptance and your boundaries. And that changed the way that you have relationships. There's a card sticking out, getting my attention. Deceit. And see how we have the mask here as well. And it's hard to see, but there's the broken heart as well. For a lot of you, this is what I mean, is that you stopped deceiving yourself. You stopped accepting deceit. You stop pretending to be somebody you're not. 27 reduces to a 9. It feels like, it just feels like there's something about the dynamic that you had with the people in your life where it was just too heartbreaking to continue. 444 on the timer as I'm saying this. It was not stable, and a lot of you got divine guidance that like, this is not going to work, right? And so with the Queen of Swords coming out to clarify this denial energy in reverse, I feel like you stopped denying your truth and you started being willing to set boundaries. Yep, the Queen of Pentacles is at the bottom. These two queens, you know, all the queens, but these two especially, boundary queens. Boundary queens. They know their worth. And, you know, the Queen of Swords, she knows her worth. She communicates. She speaks of that. She, you know, when she talks, it has a power, right? And then the Queen of Pentacles backs that up with her action. So your family members see you as somebody who, at this point in your life, you mean what you say and you say what you mean. You're willing to have the tough conversations and you're willing to put in the effort and the work. You're not just coming in being like, well, another thing. You know, I think we have this sort of image of speaking our truth as always being forceful or telling somebody off, or, you know, that old chestnut. But, you know, speaking the truth as well means having really vulnerable conversations and conversations that encourage growth, right? And that looks a lot of different ways. And I think that the way your family members are seeing you is as somebody who handles it with quite a lot of grace. Which is very beautiful. It's very much the Queen of Pentacles as well. Somebody who is honest, but who is patient. Somebody who is clear and direct, but somebody who is kind and generous. It's like any kind of difficult talks that you have are for a purpose. And that purpose is to heal, mend, and grow the relationships that you have with your family members. I'm not going to take all these, but I do want to note that the Nine of Pentacles came out at the top. So again, your family members see you as somebody who's really worked on your self-worth and your boundaries big time. Excuse me. Yeah, the World. Exactly. Somebody who has really leveled up in these areas. Some of you are Aquariuses. Have big Aquarius placements. Some of you have Saturn in Aquarius. Yeah, some of you have Saturn in Scorpio as well, or Virgo as another thing. Virgo's not on the board, but I'm getting that energy with the Queen of Pentacles. Your family members see you as somebody who's really kind of grown into their own. You've stepped into this new energy, right? The World and the Queen of Swords, of being able to advocate for yourself, being able to set boundaries. You're very wise. You're very discerning. You sit back and you kind of take all matters, like all parts of something into consideration before you make choices. And I think you're very honest with yourself and your own blind spots or shortcomings, as well as like you're very honest at this point in your journey about what it is that you need. And so even family members who have a problem with that, who balk at that, people you might not even really talk to all that often, or you're not talking to right now, this is something they notice about you. I think people in your family see you as somebody with this graceful energy that is just becoming the version of themselves they were always meant to be. Whether they like it in the moment or not, whether they always accept it or not, this is how they're seeing you. Excuse me. Two of Pentacles reversed. I'm telling you, some of you, you've made a big change in your life. That's a reprioritization. So some of you have cut something out. You let a relationship go. And it's not just about having a tough conversation. It's about the way that you carry yourself and the way that you run your life. There's something really big about this, right? You're not like hemming and hawing or kind of caught between two versions of yourself. You've made a decision about what's important to you and how you want to act on that. And your family members see that about you. Page of Cups. For some of you, this was because you became a parent, and it may have changed things. And the Eight of Pentacles coming out with the Page of Cups. For a lot of you, you have done the work, the inner child healing, or you've done the reparenting work. And that allows you to both be vulnerable with the Page of Cups and speak really honestly and from the heart, but also be protective and be a self-advocate with the Queen of Swords. Some of you, you have embraced your artistic and creative side, and you just deeply enjoy what you do. Some of you have, had to kind of, you've been like trying to find a balance between maybe wanting to focus on having a family, or maybe wanting to focus on having a career, and you've picked the option that feels the most aligned to you, that you can pour yourself into with a lot of happiness. And there's like a sense of, I feel like your family members, whether they like what you're doing or not, they respect you. And that is undeniable, unquestionable. Yeah, the High Priestess, I feel like people in your family are seeing you as more powerful. more tapped in, like you understand something they don't, especially for those of you where to take this action, you've had to overcome some kind of generational pattern. People are seeing you as powerful. That with the High Priestess and the Five of Cups, that you know a secret about overcoming your grief, your sadness, the losses of the past. So your family members are seeing you as somebody who has stepped into their power, and somebody who has insight and wisdom to share that comes from a very real place and very lived experiences. Page of Pentacles. And I feel like for many, these are kind of new ways of thinking and doing things that your family members are still kind of learning, and they may sort of look to you in your journey, whether they tell you this or not, for ideas or inspiration, right? It speaks to them because it's what's the word I'm thinking of? I guess I'll say aligned. That's not the word I was looking for, but it is aligned with the journey of healing that they themselves need to progress on or need to embark on altogether. So I hope that helped, my friends. Good luck.